Welcome to the 7th edition of International Festival of Media, hosted and curated by Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies, Lakecity University. I am Atruba Anwar in conversation with Mr. Gurinder Osan, an esteemed photojournalist who has done remarkable work in his field. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, you have been in this field for a very long time. What difference do you see in this field of photography before and after AI revolution?
AI is new on the block, so to speak, but actually it is not new. AI technology in different forms has already been there. We have been using AI in our mobile phones. We've been using AI in our softwares. Now, so many cameras are involving the use of AI for better functioning of the cameras, the way it focuses, the way it tracks subjects and stuff like that. So, we have been using AI in to some extent in the way we do our pictures in for post production also. So it's not that AI has not been there; it's been there. The only thing that is probably on the minds of people is how efficient it has become in terms of and the ease with which it can be operated by anybody. So that is a scary part with AI. AI per se is not new, or is I don't see it as something that we should be scared of. It's a tool. It is a tool that can be used or it can be misused.
So, as a photographer, there's a pressure of capturing each and everything, but there's something called privacy. So, how do you think there should be a balance between capturing a moment versus respecting someone's privacy?
See, there are moments that one has faced so often in our lives as photojournalists when we are heading into a very, critical situation. Say somebody's lost a family member in a murder, or if there's been a disaster of a very huge scale and so many deaths have happened, or if it is some like in a situation of any other mishap, and that is a time when the people whom you are trying to shoot may not want to get shoot get to may not want to get photographed, but then or it may be something else. It may be a moment of kind of innocence, or where only family members can be privy. Like or even if it's a wedding, let it why should not be a sad occasion. Or even if it is a wedding, you're looking at a, a happiness that is meant to be shared within the family. So how much of that am I allowing somebody who's outside my system to come in and shoot? Now that depends totally on the photographer. So like there have been so many situations where I'll give you one example, and that really, when I was a student, I was in third year, and that's why I'm telling you now of this example that made me learn this whole thing so clearly. Is I was shooting in Khajuraho, and I was very scared to get my cameras out. The same questions. I was shooting artisans for a book project, and I had to enter people's homes to be able to talk about that, because most artisans don't have a fancy workshop. They work out of home. And but I was scared. What if I take out my camera and the village people don't like it? They're gonna hit me or whatever. I'm like, with all these preconceived notions, I'm going around that Khajuraho village trying to shoot, till I saw, and that is why I consider him my guru in so many ways. I saw Mr. Raghurai coming down the road of the village, and he had two cameras out. It was winter, so he was wearing a shawl, and he had a swagger of a confident person, going through that location. And so I also went up to him, sir, I'm also from Delhi. I was third year college. He was much senior in India Today and all that. He says, yeah, yeah, beautiful village, na? And he carried on, his swagger, he carried on. And I said, yeah, he's cool. Why am I getting so scared about getting my camera? I don't even have camera. I had one camera. So with great of like borrowed confidence, I took out that camera finally, and I went around and shot some pictures of the artisans. Hopefully I'll show it in my presentation also. And then later I was shooting these potters who were kneading the clay in the open field with their legs, and but not very far from them there was a woman taking a bath, and she was semi clad, I would say, and there was also a child there, so she was probably the mother of the child. And I said, oh my god, let me not even look in that direction or think in that direction, forget about shooting. So I was being very careful, very calculated about taking my pictures to make sure that I'm only getting what I'm here to shoot, which is the potters doing the job, and not look in that direction at all, till I heard the click of a camera. And I turned around, and there is Mr. Raghurai standing there, and he's shooting the same woman I was scared to even look at. And he was smiling at her, and she was smiling back. And she picked up the child and even posed for him. And that was my learning, that Raghurai said, I'm a photographer. This is what I do. I'm here to shoot. He's picked up his camera. He probably had a moment of communication with the subject that he's shooting, and which is always to be done. You should always have that moment of communication, and that acceptance, or that approval from your subject, even if it is just a look of the eye or it's just partial smile, whatever it would be. There are ways of doing that. And he was shooting. So that's where I said, the guilt was in my heart. I had not stepped out with the right intention, maybe. So the intent is very important when you step out as a photojournalist. So I had shot the tsunami, and hopefully I'll show those pictures here also. And towards the end of that assignment, I was there for 2 weeks after the tragedy occurred. I was in Nagapattinam area. I had a particular picture that I had shot in Kadalur, and that had been used a lot across the world. And I felt that, this picture, if it does anything that brings me glory, I will not be able to accept it till I go and meet this family, and till I also tell them that if there's any gain that I make from that image, it will be theirs. I will not take any of that. I was very clear about. I mean, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure that I'm going to win any awards or not, and not that it mattered, but just so that I have it off my mind, I went up to them and I introduced myself and I said, "This is what I had shot." They got me tea and we sat for a while and we had this. I didn't take any pictures, of course, at that time, but we had this conversation. But what I'm saying is that I kind of didn't just shoot and scoot. There is a connect that happened because of that assignment. There was and that the gravity of that situation. As a photojournalist, I was carrying out my, so to speak, job or my sort of role as a communicator, which I hopefully did to the best of my capacity. But that doesn't mean that I'm shooting a subject that is devoid of everything else. There is no wall between me and the subject. When I'm shooting, I become the subject. I'm almost smiling with them. I'm almost crying with them. It happens. If it doesn't happen, you should not be in the field.
That was very insightful conversation. At last, do you have some tips from your experience that you want to give to budding photographers?
I would say shoot. Shoot as much. Wear the most comfortable shoes. Walk a lot. Observe a lot. Research a lot. And I'm not saying just photography books and photography YouTube videos. Research means that you should have insightful knowledge about every subject that you're going for. If you want to be shooting a particular genre, then go into the depths of it. Like, do not just say, okay, let me try it out and then that's it. Your relationship should not end there. Get to the depth of things. Like, really, if it is not worth it, then don't immerse yourself. I mean, if you do not, what is that Amir Khusro's line, that Khusro Dariya Prem ka aaki ulti dhar, jo ubra so doob gaya, jo dooba so par. So which means that the river of love is such that if you do not immerse yourself fully and you only stay on the surface, then you have not made it. So you have to get to the depth of that profession, depth of that skill, depth of that understanding. And it's not just, ultimately photography is another way of human communication, right? So you are a communicator first, and the question then becomes, what kind of communication are you doing, and what is your language, and how well are you using that language? So there are many things that are coming together. You have to have a partially scientific mind to understand camera technologies and the softwares, etc., that we have now. You have, and to optimize your equipment to the best of the advantages it offers. So there is that science part, yes, but more importantly, I think it is to do with the artist part, or the person who has got knowledge and research on the basis of which he or she is stepping out with their cameras to shoot. So till that is there, you're not a complete package. You can either be a very good, you will understand the subject, but you may not get the picture because you do not know the language of the photography genres that you are shooting, or you may have pictures that may have everything, but it doesn't have soul. So all of these things to come together is not something that happens overnight. It's a lot of hard work. This is why I'm saying step out and shoot as much as you can. Whether it is standing in a studio, whether it is going into a jungle and shooting flowers or micro or macro, whatever you're doing, going out and shooting wildlife, any genre, including photojournalism, including street, including anything that we can portraiture. There are so many layers and levels to which you can go, and that is the beauty of photography as a creative medium, because there are so many depths you can go to.
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance and insightful conversation. Atruba Anwar, Lakecity Live, Bhopal.